Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. As MotoGP heads into the crucial flyaway rounds, Marc Márquez remains cautiously optimistic but acknowledges that his year-old GP23 bike might not be enough to keep up with the latest GP24 machines. Let's take a closer look at his thoughts as the championship battle intensifies. The Emilia Romagna Grand Prix brought mixed emotions for the Ducati team, as Enea Bastianini claimed victory while Pecco Bagnaia's crash left a bitter taste. Ducati Lenovo team manager Davide Tardozzi spoke to GP1, shedding light on the team's perspective after the race, and addressing the tension between Ducati's top riders. Let's dive into what he had to say. The last lap clash between Jorge Martin and Enea Bastianini at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix has sparked heated discussions in the MotoGP paddock. Pramac team boss Gino Borso recently revealed the outcome of a meeting with MotoGP stewards, where the controversial move was discussed. Here's what Borso and others had to say about the incident. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Marc Márquez has been riding a year-old Ducati GP23 throughout the 2024 MotoGP season, competing against riders like Jorge Martin, Pecco Bagnaia, and Enea Bastianini, who all have the latest GP24 version. Despite 2 race wins this season, Márquez admits that his victories came in strange conditions, and expects the gap between the GP23 and GP24 bikes to become more noticeable during the upcoming flyaway races. It has been like this all year, especially in the second part of the season. I won 2 races, but in unusual conditions. I felt more comfortable in warmer races, but when the track grip is super good, like at Misano, the difference between the bikes becomes clearer. Quote from Marc Márquez. Márquez further explained that pushing his GP23 to its limit still leaves him a step behind the GP24 machines, noting that he needs to find those crucial tenths of a second that can make the difference between podium finishes and race wins. During the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, Márquez was targeting a solid 4th place finish and managing his race accordingly. He knew that pushing too hard would only lead to more risk without advancing his position. However, a stroke of luck came in the form of Pecco Bagnaia's crash, which allowed Márquez to inherit a podium spot. I started the race with a clear target, which was 4th place. I knew that whether I took more risks or less, I would still finish 4th. But when Pecco made a mistake and crashed, he gave us a present, and we took the podium. Márquez told by Crash. Márquez's smart approach ensured he avoided unnecessary risks. But Bagnaia's misfortune gave him a valuable boost, securing a podium at his team's home race in Misano. With Enea Bastianini's victory and Bagnaia's crash, Márquez now finds himself 4th in the championship standings, 60 points behind leader Jorge Martin. As MotoGP moves into its flyaway phase, the championship battle is far from over, but Márquez acknowledges that the challenge of competing with year-old machinery may limit his chances of mounting a serious title charge. To fight for the championship in the future, I need to improve a bit more. Find that last 10th or 2 tenths per lap. These small differences add up over the course of a race. Márquez concluded. As Marc Márquez continues to chase his dream of winning a title on his GP23, the flyaway rounds will be crucial for determining his chances. With just a 60-point gap to the top of the standings, Márquez remains in the mix, but he'll need both performance improvements and a bit more luck to close the gap to the GP24 riders. Stay tuned as the MotoGP season heads into its most intense phase. Ducati was left celebrating Enea Bastianini's win but also grappling with Pecco Bagnaia's costly crash that took him out of the race. Davide Tardozzi expressed the team's mixed emotions after the Grand Prix, stating that while Bastianini's triumph was a positive, Bagnaia's DNF was a disappointment that will take time to process. We are very happy for Enea, of course, but Pecco's crash leaves a bitter taste in our mouths. He was going very fast but didn't finish. We will need time to digest this disappointment, both for Pecco and for us. Quote from Davide Tardozzi. Tardozzi confirmed that in the coming days, the team will take a closer look at what went wrong for Bagnaia, but for now, their focus is on supporting him through this challenging moment. The Misano race saw a dramatic last-lap battle between Enea Bastianini and Jorge Martin, with Bastianini pulling off a controversial overtake that saw the two riders make contact. Some speculated that Ducati might favor Bagnaia in the title race, but Tardozzi laughed off such rumors, emphasizing that Ducati's policy is to let all their riders race freely. Martin and Bastianini made it clear right away that is also part of racing. Jorge had gone a bit wide, and when he tried to close at the last moment, they touched. But at that breaking point, they were both past each other. Tardozzi was adamant that no rider in the Ducati lineup would be hindered in their fight for the championship, saying that Martin's Pramac team can rest assured that they have the same support as the factory riders. We will not take one iota away from the Ducati factory team for Martin. His team knows that we won't interfere in their performance until the last lap of the last race of the season, Tardozzi told by Motosan. With Bagnaia now trailing Martin by 24 points in the championship standings, Tardozzi acknowledged that there's still a lot of work ahead for both Bagnaia and Bastianini, who sits 59 points behind Martin. However, he remained confident in Ducati's ability to recover, noting that the standings can shift quickly in MotoGP. 24 points to recover is a lot for Pecco, but the standings can change very quickly. If Martin wins the World Championship, we will be on the podium applauding him, and I guarantee it, Tardozzi concluded. Tardozzi also pointed out that while Ducati's focus is on the current title race, they remain mindful of the other manufacturers, who may become more competitive in the upcoming rounds. As Ducati's championship contenders battle it out, the team is determined to support each rider equally, leaving the outcome to be decided on track. With the standings still tight, the next few races will be critical in determining who will emerge as the 2024 MotoGP World Champion. Stay tuned as this thrilling season unfolds. The Emilia Romagna GP at Misano saw a dramatic last-lap confrontation when Enea Bastianini made an aggressive overtake on Jorge Martin at turn 4, making contact and forcing Martin off track. The incident allowed Bastianini to storm to victory, while Martin, the championship leader, was left frustrated. Despite the clear contact and the fact that both riders went beyond the track limits, the MotoGP stewards did not investigate the incident, leading to widespread debate. Gino Borsa, Pramac's team boss, explained that his team did raise the issue with race direction, only to be told that the move was deemed fair. We had some conversations with race direction. They say it was okay, the overtake, not over the limit. Well, it is what it is. We know that. Quote from Gino Borsa. Borsa expressed his team's acceptance of the steward's ruling, but the decision not to investigate has left Pramac wondering where the line is drawn for aggressive racing. According to Borsa, the lack of a penalty sets a precedent for future last-lap battles. They decided not to give any penalty to Bastianini, and now we learn from that. We know that the limit is there, and in the future, if you need to do something like this on the last lap, you can do it because you are allowed to do it. Despite the controversy, Borsa emphasized that Pramac was happy to have secured a podium finish and to have increased the points gap between Martin and Pecco Bagnaia, who crashed out of the race. The paddock is divided over whether Bastianini's move was within the bounds of fair racing. While some riders viewed the incident as part of the intense competition MotoGP is known for, others, like Marc Márquez, believe Bastianini should have been penalized, especially given that he also left the track during the overtake. I think the fact that Bastianini went off track while making the overtake strengthens the case for a penalty. Quote from Marc Márquez. As the MotoGP season intensifies, this incident has added fuel to the debate over what constitutes fair racing, with implications for future championship battles. The Emilia Romagna GP incident has highlighted the fine line between aggressive racing and overstepping the mark. With no penalty issued, the steward's decision may influence the strategies of riders in upcoming races, as they push the boundaries in their quest for victory. Stay tuned as MotoGP heads into the final stretch of an exhilarating season. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. See you in the next video.